hopefully they can celebrate with them at the end of the second. And they have kicked off, and Simon Francis immediately has the ball at right back into Steve Cook, who spreads it along the deck to Charlie Daniels, just inside his own half, shadowed and shepherded by Gudmundsson. And a crossfield ball from Cook looking towards Matt Ritchie. He's headed out of play. It'll be a throw into the Cherries just inside their own half. Determined to start fast. Sermon gets it back to Francis. Now Cook again, just behind the centre circle. Taps it onto Daniels in front of us on this left-hand side. Orange-booted Steve Cook looks up for another diagonal ball. Can't see it. Goes square to Simon Francis. He slides it forward to Andrew Sermon, who took up a good position. Infield to Kerm against his former club. He's fouled, surely. Neil Swarbrick agrees. And the Cherries immediately have a free kick, which Matt Ritchie will fancy. 25 yards out, dead centre.
Well, great passing sequence. They couldn't get it near us, Charlton. Now this one, there's a little bit of a breeze. Would you say it's going in our favour at just?
It hasn't been going in our favour temperature-wise, but I would say it probably is, looking at the balloons heading that way.
Yeah,
Either way, it's making the goalkeepers' lives a little more awkward than it might be.
Yes, he's going to, and as you say, Matt, he's going to have a look at this, and the trick is to put it on the breeze.
Ipswich have gone one up at Blackburn early. Here's the free kick. The wall is being lined up by Neil Swarbrick with his shaving foam about a yard inside the penalty area. So they were only about 4 yards out with their own efforts. He's marching them back, Neil Swarbrick, so this is a good distance. Kermigan wants it with his right foot. Sermon's going to tap it possibly, and Ritchie might leather it with his left. Let's have a look what happens. Dead centre. Sermon over it, Ritchie behind it, Kermigan to the side. 4 men in the wall. Henderson waits in the Charlton goal. Kermigant, right-footed, hits the wall, brings the ultimate anti-climax, but then he chips it back into the penalty area, and it's headed half away but not cleared. Arter sends it back out to this left wing, and Pugh's first touch, he can't control it with his head. It goes out for a goal kick, and Derby are trailing 1-0 at home to Reading. What a story that would be if they lost out on the final day.
Some early goals.
Ipswich ahead at Blackburn. Derby trailing at Reading. 0-0 here. We've only played 2 minutes. The Cherries, Boruc's in goal. Francis, Elphick, Cook and Daniels make up the defence, of course. The midfield, Ritchie, Arter, Sermon and Pugh, and up front, Kermigant and Wilson. Charlton, Stephen Henderson in goal. Chris Solly at right back. Morgan Fox at left back, the Welshman. Tal Ben Haim and Roger Johnson make up a very experienced centre-half pairing. In midfield, Gudmundsson on the right, the Icelander. Boulot, the Gabon international, on the left. And Boyens and Diarra, the Frenchman, in midfield, with top scorer Igor Vetekele up front with 11 goals, and Tony Waters-Wilson's put in down the right, shoots, deflects, saved by Henderson, and behind for a corner.
Well, good work first of all from Jan Kermigan, and then Callan just got the ball out of his feet. I think you'll think he should have done better, but he's forced the keeper to make a save.
Well, the defender got a touch as he slid in front of the shot. I think it deflected before it got to the keeper, which took the sting out of it as well. So
2 out on the ball for this corner. Matt Ritchie, one of them.
And by the way, that's the Bournemouth fans singing, in case you're wondering. Corner on the far side, away to our left, on the Cherries' right. Ritchie and Sermon work a short one. Comes back to Ritchie, slides it to the D. Dummy, Kermigan shot first time, curled over and wide and out for a goal kick. But there is no doubt who has started the brighter of the two teams.
Oh, how slick was that for a set play. OK, Kermigan tried to curl it into the top corner, but they put a little bit of an extra package on it from the one we've seen before. Very unfortunate. Good work.
That was nice. That was like an American football move. That had about 5 elements to it. 1 in, 1 out, 1 over, 1 behind. It was brilliant. Shame he curled it 5 yards wide as Charlton try and get an attack going themselves. Got to the edge of the penalty area. Shot won't come in. Elphick makes the tackle with help from Francis, and then it comes off the Charlton player Boulot and out from Sermon's work for a goal kick to the Cherries. A little bit of danger there though. Vetekele, the Belgian-born Angolan top scorer, is obviously a nuisance.
Well, just for their formation, they've lined 4-3-3, but as usual, they spring to a 5 in midfield when we have the ball.
Now, ball played across the bottom of the centre circle, and Sermon has to stretch, does well to play into the Charlton half, but it's poorly defended in the end by Charlton, given away by Tal Ben Haim. Wilson, left-hand edge of the box, looks up, cuts in field, wants the shot, doesn't take it. Arter wants the shot from inside the D. Back out to the left of Pugh, 12 yards out, curls it, doesn't get the curl he required. It goes well wide in the end. He was looking for a lovely finish into the top corner.
Well, he was, Ad, and you know, the three boys who had the ball before him, both in a similar position. Callum first of all, and Jan Kermigan, all could have tried that little curler into the far post with a bit of a help of a breeze.
Arter could have hit it from the D and had a strike and had a go and tested Stephen Henderson. 27 today, the Charlton goalkeeper, the Irishman, his bright, luminous green shirt, clears long, only as far as the chest of Steve Cook. Down off the chest to Harry Arter and back to Elphick in applause for the neat work from the Cherries, which epitomises their game, of course. Crisp passing at a high tempo, difficult to defend against, and they've certainly been that this season, haven't they? Pugh plays it down the left. Tal Ben Haim volleys it back into the Bournemouth half. Cook first to react, nods it into the centre circle, and Kermigan drops deep to get it to Francis. Ritchie's hugging the white stuff out on the right-hand side. Plays it forward to Francis, who continued his run into the box, tries to cross, gets a second chance, pulls it back towards Arter. In the end, it's well read by Morgan Fox, and the young Welshman, the left-back, clears left-footed, high up to halfway, but only back to the Cherries. Elphick's chest puts Sermon in a bit of trouble, but they've won it back and worked it well. And Pugh's come in off the left wing to gather in the centre circle.
Well, they're just keeping the ball moving here very nicely. Looks a real confident start from the boys.
Every time Charlton clear, they just give it back to Bournemouth on halfway, but now they'll try and break themselves. Tricky Gabon international Boulot will play it off the left, comes forward, approaching the penalty area. Charlton now chipped again towards Boulot, as Tony Watts, the young Scotsman, tried to get it to him, and then Wilson just takes a knock as he challenges Roger Johnson, the former Wolves and Birmingham centre-back, of course, and Wilson is hobbling, and Charlton have the ball. Lifted forward, down the left wing, looking for a chasing run, but they won't keep that in, will they? Well, they have. There's no flags gone up, everyone's stopped, and Charlton have got possession still. Ball crossed back towards the edge of the box, and then a hoof. Can't describe it as any more of that than that from Boyens into the Cherries fans, and the ball comes back out along with the beach ball and a rubber ring. 0-0.
Well, it tried to get hold of that, but as you say, that one high and wide. I think it's been a great start. You know, we've moved the ball well. Nice bit of play on the set piece.
7 minutes gone, goalless, but all Bournemouth so far, in all honesty. Boyens plays it back to Solly, and Fox tried to hold it up through Watts. The ball's gone out of play for a Charlton throw. The referee signalled, and they've taken it quickly. Now Boulot again tries to play it infield, almost found Kermigan. Helped on by Diarra, and Tal Ben Haim and Roger Johnson will get it at the back for Charlton. And look up, long ball forward, a raking pass as Elphick climbs over Boulot, clears it, and then the back pass, the header is poor. Wilson will capitalise. Left, right-hand edge of the penalty area, near the byline, tries to pull it back for Kermigan, then he looks for Pugh with a second bite, and Diarra tidies up for Charlton and does well, and they will try and clear through Morgan Fox, up into the feet of Watts, holds it up, can't spin away from Sermon. Now Alou Diarra, the experienced Frenchman, who's had a strange career for a man of 33, off the right-hand side. This time the cross from Goodmanson, who's been quiet so far. Cherries get possession back. Arter wins it back. Cook has it inside his own half. 0-0. Francis just short of halfway. It must be weird for the Charlton fans, Willow. It's like an away game.
Well, I think the way the boys are moving the ball around does suggest that we look like the home team, no doubt about that.
Cook plays it out to Daniels, who's taken a position up, and a lovely first-time ball into Pugh. Pugh approaching the D, plays it into Kermigan, back to goal, 16 yards out, holds it up for Ritchie, off the post. 1-0 Bournemouth in the Valley. Another fantastic first-time strike from Matt Ritchie. 14 league goals for the season for the Scottish international, and that one as sweet as any, as sweet as the goal against Bolton on Monday, and Bournemouth deserved the early lead.
I have to say, Adam, that one's better. We've passed the ball from right back to left back up the pitch. We've gone inside, come back out. Absolutely top draw before young Matt. Had lots to do, really. It was a good way out on a bit of an angle, but he's fired it into the far corner. What a goal. Absolutely top draw football to watch. I'm not even sure that just must go in one of the top 5 goals.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a candidate for goal of the season. That is the 96th league goal Bournemouth have scored this season. What a fabulous start. And it was such a good move. Cook pinged it first time to Daniels, who pinged it first time to Pugh, who played it into Kermagant, who held it up and waited for Ritchie to run onto it, and he played it in off the post, placed it past Henderson, off the post, fantastic. And now Sermon's making a barnstorming run, chips it over Tal Ben Haim, keeps it in near this corner flag, has support, but he's just tackled, and the right back Solly will clear up to halfway. But Charlton, well, do you know what, the way they started, Willow, that 100 goals in the league's got a shout. They've only got 4 to go.
Well, I know we've been high scoring, but just at the moment it's an absolute wonder to watch them play.
Well, I hope you enjoy listening to your fellow fans at home, because it's a fantastic atmosphere here, and they've made the perfect start. Matt Ritchie scoring in his 100th appearance for Bournemouth in all competitions. What a nice way to round the season.
Well, I was starting to count when I got to 10, but lost it. And Matty put the ball. Oh,
now he has given it away. Arter into the box. 2-0. Mistake made. Confusion between Tal Ben Haim and Yoni Boyens. And Harry Arter said, "Thank you very much." He scores. It's 2 in 3 minutes for Bournemouth. It is easy as the fans are already chanting. It's Charlton 0, Bournemouth 2. Over to you, Watford.
Well, sometimes you do get a little bit beyond yourself with the amount of things we might achieve here. But you just mentioned 100 goals, and I think you could be right the way we're going. Absolute. Well, he just stole the ball.
It was a gift.
It was a gift. He didn't have an awful lot to do, Harry, but he managed to do it very well. He was selective, picked the corner and punched it home. You still have to put him away.
And didn't he? Tal Ben Haim and Boyens, and a few Pompey fans will be smiling at the thought of Tal Ben Haim making a bad mistake. No love lost for him at Fratton Park. Won't be much at the Valley the way he's playing so far. Long ball forward from Charlton. Cook again, majestic. Chests it down. Lovely first touch from Kermagant. Another sweeping move building for the Cherries. Sermon onto Ritchie. Francis bombing on the overlap. Francis will get the ball. Right-footed, low into the box, and Wilson ruins the end of the move by losing control.
I think he was in. I think Harry Arter was in on goal again if he'd just run over the ball.
Yeah, if he dummies it. Still, they'll come again. Cook, and there's a real buzzer out the players now.
There's some
surging.
Slick stuff.
Cook with real purpose into the Charlton half. Elphick, cool as a cucumber on halfway, just helps it on and then points and puts people in position. Ritchie hugging the touchline back to Francis, just over halfway. Sermon, his pass blocked by Boyens, who gets it back. The tall Belgian looks up from inside the centre circle, trying to find Goodmanson on this right-hand side. I almost said that right. Now forward from Solly, the right back. He finds Goodmanson. Down in front of us, only 5 yards inside the Cherries half, and as with all good teams, Willow, Bournemouth quickly in shape without the ball and working hard to close down space.
Well, they are, and that's something we'll have to do next season, but yeah, we're still enjoying this season, and that one's...
Well, Ben Haim just played it into Tony Watts, who just decided to scuff one from 30 yards just to give the Cherries fans something to laugh at. 2-0. Goal kick Bournemouth. Somebody very impressed me very much by remembering Tony Watts as a teenager. He's only 21 now. Do you remember what he did in Scotland when he was at Celtic? As a teenager, Willow, he scored the winning goal against Barcelona.
I do remember that one,
when they beat Barcelona 2-1.
It wasn't the brightest spark then with that shot.
No. If that's as close as they get to goal, Willow, it's going to be a fun afternoon, and that 100's under threat. 14 minutes gone, 2-0. Pugh with a lovely little turn away from Boyens. That was skill. What a journey for Mark Pugh in the 5 years he's now completing with Bournemouth, from signing from Hereford United. Fantastic journey he's had. He's already got 9 league goals himself this season in the Championship. It is 2-0 here. Early strikes from Ritchie and Arter. Arter gifted a goal after a cock-up between Tal Ben Haim and Boyens. And Ritchie's goal, one of the contenders for goal of the season. Another brilliant sequence of first-time passing. And as so often the case, Willow, Jan Kermagant, cool, picking out the right man as he holds the ball up.
Well, he's had about 5 touches, Jan, and they've all been really important.
Yeah. Forest are losing home to Cardiff, I think. I was sort of listening in my ears. And Joe Rules has got a goal there. But the important goals are Ipswich up away from home and Derby losing home to Reading. And of course it's 2-0 here to Bournemouth as Steve Cook hits another crossfield ball. Somehow Ritchie gets it off Morgan Fox, and then unfortunately for him, having robbed the fullback and the ball that came out of the sky, gave it away. And Bulow does well to skip away from a couple of challenges, one of which was from Sermon, who tracks him back to halfway. And Charlton have it at the back, and Tal Ben Haim gets rid of it quickly into Goodmunson, who tried to flick it on but to no one, and it's just easy for Steve Cook again. It's all Bournemouth. Pugh down the left, Daniels on the overlap, midway inside the Charlton half. Pugh goes infield, Arter's there, good tackle from Diarra. Back to Pugh though, still Daniels wants it on the wing. Daniels gets it, deflects off the tackle from Boyens, and then out from Solly. It's a throw into Bournemouth, but it is just incessant pressure.
It absolutely is, and if you talk about fast football, Charlie Daniels on the ball again, looking to throw the ball in and keep us moving. 2-0,
it's a throw almost level with the edge of the Charlton penalty area, but this time Solly and Boyens combine to get the ball back for Charlton. Watts is tackled on halfway by Cook, who I thought got the ball, but Neil Swarbrick says it's a free kick. He tricked him as well. Charlton's home record, by the way, isn't bad. They've only lost 4 here all season in the league. 1-9, they're the draw specialist, which has cost them challenging for the playoffs, plus that dodgy spell that cost Bob Peters his job. But 1-9, draw 9, lost 4 is not a bad home record.
No, it's
to only lose 4 times. Mind you, the Cherries have only lost 5 times away, Willow. And have scored 47 goals in the process.
It takes them doing, no doubt about it. They're really on the ball today, as you would expect.
And the ball with Charlton. Get it back to Stephen Henderson. There's a black balloon floating near him. He ignores that and clears left-footed up. And a big challenge in the air from Tommy Elphick, wins it over Vetter Kelly, who's done nothing in the game so far. Maybe he's got his sombrero and flip-flops on. As Solly comes forward, midway inside the Cherries half, down the right. Looked like it's going to be a tackle, but it's good skill in the end from Watts, who gets to the byline, drills it across the 6-yard area, and Vetter Kelly nearly came to life. He can't slide in and get the ball. It's a goal kick for the first really decent penetrating run by Charlton.
Yes, that's their best effort to date, and just attacked down this right-hand side. Just went past, or got in front of Daniels anyway, and hit it down the corridor of uncertainty, but no red shirty able to get on the end of it. Goal kick.
If you're joining us late, the good news from the Valley is that AFC Bournemouth are heading towards their 13th away win of this record-breaking historic season. They lead Charlton 2-0 here, live on BBC Radio Solent Sport. We're only in the 18th minute. Early goals from Matt Ritchie and Harry Arter separating the sides. And Charlton being third best.
How many goals early on we have scored in away games, especially, it seems.
Yeah, starting well, Willow.
Like to add that one up.
Easy to say, isn't it? We want to start well, not so easy to do when the opposition have a say, but Charlton haven't had a say at all in this game. And the class between the two teams is frightening in a good way. Cook, just short of halfway, wants the play to spread in front of them, flings his arms out, in the end goes short to Daniels, played down the left. Tal Ben Haim has to defend with Wilson scaring him, and then the clearance from Henderson, who got an awkward one from Tal Ben Haim, had to volley it, headed down cleverly by Pugh, and now Solly's rushing to get back with him. Pugh sends it back onto his right foot, infield to Sermon, 25 yards out, into Wilson, turns in the box by the penalty spot, skips round 2, oh, and the dive deflects it away, otherwise it was 3-0.
Oh my goodness. Oh dear. 3 people he's gone by, he's 6 yards out. I think he just wants an empty net to hit it in Callum.
The last little shimmy round the last defender was beautiful. He ended on his backside, but unfortunately he couldn't score. Oh,
unbelievable stuff.
2 deflected shots for the top scorer.
2 under the goalkeeper here from this corner, 3 running in from the penalty spot.
Yep. Cook, Elphick and Pugh, and then it's flicked on at the near post by Kermigan from Ritchie's corner, but it's out for a goal kick. Another goal to tell you about. Wolves, I think, are in the goals. They lead Millwall, and Dicko has scored for Wolves. That's not his nickname, that's his name. Millwall, of course, relegated. Wolves starting the day 8th on 75 points. 7th Brentford on 75. 6th at the start of the day. Derby on 77 and Ipswich 5th on 78. Derby losing to Reading under threat now from Wolves. Cook over halfway, and again a lovely first touch from Kermagant. Arter now can rush into the Charlton half. He's got Ritchie to his right, pokes it out to Ritchie. Up comes Francis, inside him, cross goes early left-footed, headed away by Roger Johnson, and Sermon will try and get it back for Bournemouth on halfway, and coolly does so, all the way to Arter Boruc, 2-0.
Well, excellent work by Andrew Sermon there, just making sure the back door's locked up and we don't get broken on.
Yeah.
Ball back to Boruc, nice and sensible.
Harry Arter saying Drew Sermon, for all the help he's given him, would be his player of the season earlier, as Daniels picks up from a lovely flick from Kermagant out to this left wing. Again, Arter is inside. Pugh wants it. He's playing centrally. Squares it to Kermagant, midway inside the Charlton half. Forward to the feet of Arter, to Wilson. First time shot, deflects and lands on top of the net. And it'll be a corner, and another last gasp block stops Charlton going further behind.
Well, excellent play. 9, 10, 11, 12 passes to get us in and around the goal. Finally, Callum Wilson just lets one fired in, but a little deflection takes it over the top, lands on the net.
I've just written Wilson's shot blocked, and I've just gone ditto, ditto, ditto 2 minutes later.
He should have a goal by now, Callum.
He could have had a hat-trick by now, couldn't he? 21 minutes gone, corner short from Bournemouth on this left-hand side, went to Arter. He swings it 30 yards infield. Francis may hit this. He drills it low just past the post, and Henderson was rushing to his right, and that wasn't far away from the big man.
Another set play. This one completely different. They must be thinking, my goodness, what have we come up against here, Charlton? That time, a real deep version of the ball that goes across the face of the penalty area and ends up in a shot. Simon Francis coming from late on the halfway line, just a foot wide.
Bournemouth are like a football machine at the moment, Willow. This is an absolute joy, as Francis's header goes backwards from Henderson's long clearance on the far side, out of play for a Charlton throw-in. And they can't have played better. I mean, I've seen 20 games this season. I'm not sure they've played any slicker than this.
I was just trying to think, Adam, have I seen better than this? I'm not quite sure whether we have. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
What pleasure to be here on the final day, as Watts is crowded out of the ball by Arter and Pugh's been central for a lot of the game so far. Now Kermagant finds himself out on the right wing. Pugh sent him out there. He checks and turns infield, closed down by Buyens. But really, Charlton, by the last 20 minutes, are going to be gasping for air, Willow, the way this is going.
Well, that's the problem you have, because this team also plays fast football. It's economical, the way the ball is passed round.
We're only a quarter of the way through the game. The Cherries have had 6 chances already after 22 minutes and scored twice. They're building again now down the right-hand side. Kermagant makes his way to the box. Francis has it. He goes short to Sermon, who dinks it back over a defender. Thought he was fouled. Francis can't gather, and it's cleared away. But again, it's just hacked away by Charlton and kept in by Tommy Elphick, who has support from Harry Arter. Arter will send it across the centre circle. Watford are 1-up against Sheffield Wednesday. The only dampener on the day so far. Vidra's scored. Good ball from Kermagant. Ritchie tries to thread it through for Wilson. Ritchie might have another go. Tackle comes in once more. He's bustling away there, working hard with Roger Johnson, and the ball out of play and out for a Bournemouth throw. It was a mismatch, wasn't it? The huge figure of Johnson and Matt Ritchie, but Matt Ritchie won the throw.
He was tenacious though, Matt. He doesn't give up easily.
He's a terrier, isn't he, Matt Ritchie? That's for sure.
Amazing support here today. I don't know if you're picking up all the noise.
I hope they are. Otherwise our kit isn't working. And we're talking to ourselves. 2-0. Cardiff 2-0 up at Nottingham Forest. And Doyle has a goal there. Here, Bournemouth 2-0 up at Charlton. Francis over halfway. Short ball infield to Andrew Sermon. Sermon square to Arter. And again, the Cherries shifting Charlton from side to side. Daniels back into Harry Arter, who's sat deep, allowing Sermon to go forward. Pugh with his back to goal. Just tapped by Diarra, but he got the pass away. And it's back with Steve Cook, and now Bournemouth will switch it from left to right. Francis forward to the feet of Wilson, 30 yards out, spins away from Johnson, and he's just had his shirt tugged. Surely should be a first yellow card of the afternoon. Roger Jensen called back by referee Neil Swarbrick. Johnson just waves an indignant arm at the referee as if he's moaning, but it was an awful tug back. Wilson had done him, he got too tight.
You know, it's just occurred to me, when Callum Wilson comes towards the ball, he's a £1 million player. When he comes towards and spins in behind with the ball, he's a £10 million player.
Yeah, so anyone listening who's watching him is at least £10 million.
Just fantastic. Just a little touch off the side of his foot there, slid it down the side of the centre half, and he was gone.
Well,
apart from having his shirt pulled
Johnson's
back.
got a wider turning circle and he's not as fast, so he knew he was in trouble. 25 minutes gone. Another good free kick situation for the Cherries.
Well, it looks like they're under negotiation there, Adam, the way they're doing them around.
Queuing up. Again, it's Kermorgant, Sermon and Ritchie. This time it's about 5 yards from the box. Centre right, shall we say, about 7-8 yards from the D. 5 red shirts in the wall. Kermorgant leaves it this time. Sermon taps it. Ritchie hits it into the wall again. Back to Kermorgant, curls it to the far post cleverly, and it's headed behind for a corner.
Well, another set play that didn't quite come off, but short corner, that's taken quickly.
It is. Back to Daniels. Bournemouth just not giving Charlton any respite. Ritchie dinks it towards the back post. Tal Ben Haim off balance, heads it away. And Kermorgant will keep it in on the right. He's got Cook up in an advanced position, sensing a repeat of Fulham, and he plays it back to Sermon, and the Cherries still keep possession, and the red and white shirts just shift across the pitch from side to side, trying to track the ball and the movement. Pugh for Daniels. Daniels trying to get in behind Goodmanson. Daniels has done that, but he just got nudged enough that he had to poke the ball off balance, and it goes out for a goal kick. Why is Daniels carrying the ball? He wants to just give it back. There we go. Goal kick to Charlton, 2-0 to Bournemouth. It's frankly a procession, but it's an impressive procession.
It is. You wouldn't think these boys are due a holiday, would you?
No.
They've got 50, well, to 60, 70 minutes to go, and that's it for the season, but they're giving full value for money here.
Watford 1-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday through Matty Vidra, remember. And the race for the playoffs hotting up. Derby losing at home. Ipswich looking safe, they're winning. And Wolves leading Millwall. Brentford also in the shake-up, of course, to make the play. And Brentford have just taken the lead against Wigan. Alex Pritchard, not Wigard. Ball out with Bournemouth on the left. Daniels just inside the Charlton half. 2 defenders in front of him, so goes back to Steve Cook. Cook and Elphick ever present, the 2 Brighton boys. Elphick, by the way, Willow, in 46 games, only booked 6 times, which is remarkable.
Very impressive, especially for a centre-half.
Yeah. 5 goals for Steve Cook as well. That's impressive for a defender.
Yeah, it's something, a little bit of a competition there.
Yeah.
Always like to see your centre-halves get at least 5.
Well, Tommy's got to get more than a hat-trick to get there today. I don't think that's going to happen, but Kermorgant could be on for 1 or 2 the way things have gone. Wilson picks it up midway inside the Charlton half, off the Frenchman, out to Ritchie. Wilson down the right, continues his run towards the byline, pulls it back into the penalty area, headed away by Johnson. Another corner to the Cherries.
Well, again, it was Matt Ritchie this time who just slid the ball in for Callum to try. He tried to stand it up, I think, and clip to the far post, but it's headed out for the corner.
Ritchie places the ball down in the quadrant, goes back to Francis, another short one. Not sure if there was a plan on that, but he took it quickly, and now Ritchie has it back from a different angle, chips it infield towards Harry Arter, but he's stretching him, and the long legs of Alou Diarra will get there first, but his control is woeful, and he's lucky to get a ricochet like a pinball off about 5 shins. And now Charlton try and burst forward and give their fans something to cheer about. Played out to Veta Kelly on the right-hand corner of the penalty area. 8 blue shirts back, and Veta Kelly just played it to one of them, and Bournemouth will try and clear their lines, and the groans around the valley tell you everything to know about the first 28.5 minutes of this game. 2-0 to the Cherries.
Adam, that's precisely what I'm on about. Because our team is economical, when Charlton do get the ball back, they've they've run their legs have been run out of them by the way we pass the ball round.
Yeah, Alou Diarra, by the way, Willow, 33 years old, the Frenchman, who's been at West Ham, hardly played a game in his whole career. I know that sounds odd, hardly played any matches for any club apart from Bordeaux, but has made a heck of a career as Ritchie threads it down the right wing, and Francis has gone bolting on beyond him. Francis towards the penalty area, defender slips over, Francis slides it for Wilson. Wilson on his right foot from a narrow angle, has his shot blocked by Tal Ben Haim. It's another corner to Bournemouth. Defence into attack in the blink of an eye.
Well, it was, and it's Simon Francis that tried to put Callum in this time. Even the goalkeeper, look, he's holding on to the ball. He's trying to take the sting out of the corner so they can get their breath back, Charlton.
Alou Diarra's career started at Bayern Munich, and then he went to Liverpool. He didn't play for either team. Didn't play a game. Bournemouth have the corner on the right. Cloudy conditions, but it's sunny on the pitch. Into the near post, flicked on by Charlton. It was Diarra who errantly flicked it on, but It's worked out well for him because Gudmundsson can bring it away. Over halfway, Pugh tracks back as the two sevens clash. Puts the ball out of play with his tackle, but he's hurt himself, Mark Pugh. He's rolled his sock down below us in front of his manager, Eddie Howe. And he's just checking he's okay. Might have had a stud or two there, Willow.
Yeah, he just slid in. He's just holding the back of his calf.
Eddie Howe right in front of him. He is struggling, Mark Pugh. The referee's going to stop the game. Of course, Pugh could have gone off the pitch, Willow, and they could have carried on, but he's led down a yard from the touchline. So referee skips the ball. Leicester are leading again. Leicester 1, Newcastle 0. Njoa has scored for Leicester. They're shaking up the bottom of the Premier League table, that's for sure. That's the early kick-off at 3 o'clock on BBC Radio Solent. Sunderland against Southampton with Andy Moon and Dave Merrington. Also Pompey against York. City is a 3 o'clock kick-off with Chris Wise and Guy Whittingham. And we've got live coverage of Havants Conference South playoff semi-final, second leg, updates into that Pompey game throughout the afternoon. We'll preview it all and we'll react to it all between 2 and 3 and between 5 and 6. And of course we'll have reaction from here at the Valley as Bournemouth look to continue this wonderful stylish end to the season here at Charlton, where they lead 2-0. Pugh is off the pitch and getting treatment.
Well, he's still hobbling out. I can't make up my mind whether
he won't want to come off, Willow, on this final day.
No, of course he won't. No doubt about that, Mark Pugh. But
Steve Hart just checking with him that he's okay. The fourth official's come out to have a look. We are just to the right of the halfway line here, and the halfway line is exactly where Chris Solly throws the ball back in from. Boyens lifts it down the right, headed out by Steve Cook. It'll be a Charlton throw, about as advanced position as they've been all game, about 3 yards from the corner flag.
Mark Pugh's back on as well.
Hence the boos.
Good news.
And the pews.
Well, that's pews.
Yeah, the pews from the Cherries fans and the boos from the Charlton fans. He's got that black tape. Looks like he's got suspenders on, Willow, down the back of his legs, Mark Pugh, protecting his hamstrings. As Charlton prepared to take this throw, still not taken. Now it is into Diarra, back heel, looking for Watt. And Watt can't gather it. Cherries half clear. Boulot has it, been quiet so far, the Gabon international. Back to the tall, rangy, bald figure of Yoni Boyens, into Diarra, who's also tall, rangy and bald. Back out to the left wing to Morgan Fox. The Welshman has Boulot ahead of him. Comes infield, approaching the Cherries penalty area, into the feet of Vetterkelly. Vetterkelly gives it back to Boulot, who shoots from distance, left-footed, but it bounces 2 or 3 times on its way to Artur Boruc, and that's about as busy as Boruc has been.
Well, I think they got about 13, 14 passes in there. Charlton just moved it around quite nicely. Didn't really hurt us. And now Charlie Daniels is on the break.
He's going to try and hurt Charlton because Pugh's lifted it cleverly over to him. Kermer gives it back to him, just forces him back a yard, so the pace goes out of the move. And Daniels goes back inside to Drew Sermon, who always knew where the ball was going before it got to his feet. Played it back, it goes across. Now Francis has it on the right. Arter looks up with Boyens in front of him, onto his left foot, centre of the park, looking for a 1-2, doesn't get it, but Kermer gives it back to him, he shoots. Might have been a handball claim there against Roger Johnson, as it hit his body, obviously, according to Neil Swarbrick. It wasn't a big claim, but another fairly incisive move that threatened to open Charlton up down the middle.
It was down the middle, and that's a surprising one because it's most difficult to break teams down through the middle, but a selection of 1-2s, final one just coming off the defender's body.
Elphick's clearance is poor with his head. It landed straight to Watt, but he actually gave it away, gave it back to Steve Cook and said to Vetterkelly, why didn't you make that run for me? And the Angolan looked at him to say, well, why didn't you just pass the ball to me? As Ritchie looks up from halfway on the right-hand side, in diagonally to Wilson, who holds off Johnson, pushes it back to Francis. They're inside the Charlton half. Sermon now brings it into Pugh. Neat layoff to Arter, and now on to Daniels, who's getting forward down the left. Daniels slides it to Pugh, made an angled run towards the corner flag, tries to backheel it to Daniels, blocked, and Diarra half clears, and it should be completed by Gudmundsson, who can't control, and it's out for a Cherries throw. 2-0 they lead. It's been a terrific first 34 minutes of the game. They've been imperious.
Well, it has, you know, we could have had 1 or 2 more, really. Callum Wilson probably being the one who could have opened Charlton up.
Diarra as Bournemouth give it away, slides it cleverly to Watt. Watt's through here 20-35 yards out, and then Steve Cook getting back with him.
No.
As again the big Scotsman couldn't control the ball and sort of almost tripped up over it.
Well, he did. He's looking for a foul as well. I can't believe.
He's a big lad as well. He ought to have carried on.
Well, I think he didn't have the legs to do it, Adam.
No. Too much defending he's done in the first 35 minutes has finished him off.
That is the problem, and you have, and we've all been there. You know, anybody who's played football has come up against a footballing side, and when you're chasing the ball around, you're asking your mates why aren't we getting tighter? Why aren't you getting tighter? Because they're absolutely torturing us, and that's what's happening here today.
It is. Cook swings it with a languid leg out to Simon Francis, still 15 yards inside his own half. He dinks it cleverly onto the chest of Kermorgant, who laid it down, and Ritchie's first touch gave it away. Boyen's trying to capitalise. Forward to Veta Kelly, who can't get the ball, and he goes down. He was sniped by a ghost defender.
Hamstring.
Yeah, he's certainly clutching either his Achilles or his hamstring. Blackburn have equalised against Ipswich. Ipswich, of course, in the box seat really from the teams below them. Jordan Rhodes has got the Blackburn goal. But Veta Kelly looks in trouble here. Bradley Johnson's got another goal for Norwich. They lead by a goal to 0. So, just while we get this injury to Veta Kelly sorted out, I'll try and remember who scored. It's Wolves 1, Millwall 0. It's Forest 0, Cardiff 2. Watford are 1-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday, remember, through Vidra. Derby are trailing 1-0 at home to Reading. Ipswich 1, Blackburn 1 at Ewood Park. Brentford lead Wigan, and I think that's probably the lot. Middlesbrough Brighton then is still goalless for sure, and Leeds Rotherham the same. Rotherham celebrated last week, of course. Blackpool Huddersfield the same, and Bolton Birmingham. So the important goals: 5th place Ipswich drawing 1-1. They started the afternoon on 78 points, ahead of Derby on 77 in 6th place. And they're trailing at home to Reading. So at the moment, Wolves, leading Millwall by a goal to 0, would go above Derby. Brentford, of course, who are leading 1-0, would go above Derby. And Norwich are now 2-0 up on Fulham. Nathan Redmond has a second. And Fulham's leaky defence continuing to carry on its form. 2-0 here, 2-0 to Norwich against Fulham. And still, Veta Kelly gets treatment on the pitch, which is sort of ruining the game, these 2 injuries we've had, Willow, because it's taken the flow out of it.
Well, I think from Charlton's point of view, it's done them a favour, because they've been blown away. The lad's limping here, but I don't think he's going to recover from this.
No.
It looked like, when you say nobody around him, usual suspects. Snipers.
Doesn't take a lot on the final day to get some players off the pitch when you're losing 2-0 and you haven't touched the ball for 35 minutes. And he's got certainly limping. Looks like a hamstring, to be fair to him. We've had a bit of a stoppage now, but we are going to have Charlton's first substitution, and no surprise, Simon Church will come on. The Welshman, of course, former Reading striker. He's made 31 league starts, so he's played a lot of the games, Church. Watt and Veta Kelly have been the preferred choice of Guy Luzon in recent weeks, and he can hardly get off the pitch. Veta Kelly, they should have got a golf buggy out to him, Willow. It's taking ages.
Well, it seems like if he has pulled the hamstring, he's done it big time. It's really gone.
11 goals for the Angolan for Charlton this season. He's done well for them. Former Bruges and Copenhagen striker, and Simon Church, who will offer a much more physical aerial direct threat, but less pace than Veta Kelly. So they've now got 2 big men up front in Church and Watt. And the ball goes back to Artur Boruc kindly after the Cherries put the ball out for him to get treatment. 2-0 to Bournemouth. 39 minutes tick over on the clock here at the Valley. And it's been a wonderful performance from Eddie Howe's side to round the season off so far. Ritchie and Arter within 2 minutes of each other, giving the Cherries early dominance. Fair reflection. Giving away a free kick, by the way.
Sorry, Ad, I'm just looking at him there. Why does he's gone down again there so easily? Simon Francis is entitled to go for the ball. Why has he done that?
The refs always buy it, don't they, when the striker drops as soon as he's touched?
Well, There's not been many just dangerous spots.
Yeah. 40th minute.
Yeah, they're going to swing this one in with the left foot, out swinger.
Set piece out on that left-hand side. Here it comes, whipped in and then headed away by Tommy Elphick with interest. Back towards the halfway line, and Goodmanson's free kick was a waste of time. And it's back with Tal Ben Haim. On to Chris Solly. They're back inside their own half. He just hits long now, looking for Church and Johnson, who was up from the back, and Watt. And Roger Johnson's done nothing but complain for the first 40 minutes of the game, and he's complaining again. He's already been booked. Throw into Charlton on this near side. That's their right, almost level with the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. Solly takes it for Watt, who tries to cleverly move it away from Daniels, who just volleys it
into the linesman.
Yeah.
Luckily, the crown jewels weren't disturbed, so it was okay, just off his thigh.
And Charlie Daniels, of course, a Spurs youngster, plenty of games at Orient, back in London. You're looking forward to going to White Hart Lane in the Premier League. Ball chipped in cleverly actually by Watt, but nobody approaching the back post. It drifts out of play for a Bournemouth goal kick. So 4 minutes till half time. Charlton 0, the Cherries 2. And it's been easy, and frankly it should be 3 or 4 probably.
Yes,
could be.
It should be really, in terms of chances, and also the way we've played. We've moved the ball around rather good. Better than rather good, I have to say. Immaculately.
97 league goals now for the Cherries. They're looking for another clean sheet. Boruc has kept 15 this season since arriving in September. Lee Camp's kept 3 clean sheets in the Championship. He hasn't played for a long time in the league since September. An ill-fated game at Derby for him. It's Cook heads only as far as halfway to the tall, lanky figure of Alou Diarra. Now Tony Watt, the former Celtic striker, passes it to Bulo, came off his left wing but gave it away. And Arter tries to get the Cherries going, just showed too much of it to Diarra, and then Kermorgant's caught by the Frenchman. And it's a free kick to the Cherries, right in front of the referee, and I think he says, that's your second, you're going in the book. I think he's saying that'll do for me. And Alou Diarra's fairly innocuous trip cost him a yellow card, to be fair to him. What do you think?
Well, it was a trip-up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And do you know, Adam, sometimes, as with the offside rule, I'm not sure I know anymore. I'm not, you know, I see it and I'll analyse it and I think, well, that wasn't a booking, that was a booking, which way, I don't know which is right from wrong.
That was one of those where you think, that's just the foul.
It's
I mean, that
booking,
just happens in football, you get fouled.
I don't think
people missed the ball. It was one of those. Kermorgant was just too quick for him, just nicked it past him, and you get blamed for that.
Well, but coming in mind as well the fact that Jan does like to hit the floor a little bit.
Well, he'll be enjoying it so far at his old club. He's been impressive.
Well, he's done magnificent today.
Signed only, Willow, about 16 months ago, January 2014. It seems he's been at the club longer than that, as the ball goes out of play from Arter.
He's finding that role just in behind Callum. I don't think I've seen him find as much space as he has done today.
Yeah, he's been allowed a bit, hasn't he? That's for sure. He's now defending inside his own half. Charlton's throw with Chris Solly is just below us by the 4th official. And Solly, the young right back, throws it down the line, looking for Church. Tries to get his first touch, the tall blonde figure of Simon Church. Bustled off it by Daniels. And Blackburn are 2-1 up against Ipswich. So a comeback from Blackburn. Come from behind to lead 2-1 up. That puts pressure on Mick McCarthy's side. Long ball forward by Tal Ben Haim. Steve Cook makes no chance, no risk with it, and just taps it out for a throw to Charlton.
Well, he had to do it really. He was running out for the corner or the throw-in.
And the throw-in is about 5 yards from the corner flag now, and in the end, Bulo will leave it for Solly, the right back again. He's got Watt on the edge of the box. Bulo heading towards the byline. Pugh trying to keep an eye on him. There goes to Tony Watt. Tries to nick it past Sermon. I didn't think Sermon touched him, but he's gone down very easily, Watt again, and it's a free kick
That's
to
what
Charlton.
I thought not long ago, every time he gets anything on the ball, he hits the deck.
Another player from Standard Liège, of course. Charlton owned by the Belgian businessman Roland Duchâtelet, who also owns Standard Liège. There's all sorts of links.
Duchâtelet, is he French?
He's Belgian. And of course you've got The manager's worked in Belgium, Bob Peters, of course, previous manager. There's all sorts of connections here. I won't bore you with them now because Charlton have a free kick out on the right. Boruc paces up and down on his line. It's going to get whipped in by Goodmunson towards the back post, and it's a good header from a difficult, awkward angle by Tommy Elphick, who was almost craning his neck just to get it away. Ritchie and Pugh are there to help, and then Francis just whacks it up the pitch all the way to the far touchline towards Tal Ben Haim, who nods it back into the Cherries' half. We're going to have 4 minutes of stoppage time, and Matt Ritchie's trying to end the half on a high. Just his pass for Daniels, intercepted by Goodmunson. And Ritchie is full of energy. He comes over to this near side and thinks about taking it himself, and then changes his mind. Matt Ritchie, still only 25, scored the first goal here. A beautiful sweeping move that Charlton frankly just couldn't live with, and ended with a great finish.
It was. I mean, it's hard to classify it in 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5 until you see the others. But
it was like Mondays, but with bells and whistles on, and cherry on the top.
More passes as well, I think.
Yeah, more passes, and from deeper position. It had more depth to it, and it was just beautiful. And you can look forward to that one on the Football League show tonight. That's for sure. 2-0.
4 minutes.
4 minutes
extra. You know, sometimes as a opposing team, you can't wait to get in the changing room at half-time. I think this is one of the occasions Charlton will feel that way.
Well, the shame is that Bournemouth haven't put them to bed even more, because I think the 100 goals was on. It still is if they can get 3 in the second half. But 97 at the moment, 2-0 here. It could have been 5-0 by the time we'd had 25 minutes. Wilson could have had a hat-trick. It's just slowed down a bit, like I said, since the injuries. Leicester have doubled their lead against Newcastle in the Premier League, and defender Wes Morgan has scored. And that's a bad afternoon for Newcastle. Again, Solly's giving it away. Wilson will pounce towards the penalty area. Slips it infield to Arter, near the edge of the D. Left of centre. Harry Arter waits for support. Gets it from Ritchie to his right. On to Kermorgant. Back to Sermon. He might fancy it from 25 yards. Curls it. And it's just 2 yards wide. Goal kick Charlton.
Well, again, it's beautiful set-up play. This time it was the hand of Andrew, just to try and clip it with his left foot. Away from the keeper, into the top corner. Just got it wide. I was glad Harry Arter mentioned him earlier. I remember him taking criticism from people for passing the ball sideways, Andrew, so earlier in the season. 39 starts. Arter, he allows Arter to do what he does. He's always available, always free on the ball, and he always knows where it's going when he's got it. And he very rarely misplaces a pass, that's for sure. Shields that back four. And it's lobbed forward by Arter, hooks it high into the Charlton half. Tal Ben Haim heads it half away. Kermorgant, reverse ball, clever back to Wilson. Left-hand edge of the box, this time 2 defenders around him. Tal Ben Haim and Solly, they dispossess him. And Charlton will try and bring it away from their own half. Lumped forward by Morgan Fox. Long down that far touchline, and Elphick, right-footed, will hook it back towards halfway. Ritchie doesn't keep it in. Charlton Athletic will have a throw. And we're approaching what? We've had nearly 3 minutes of the 4 of stoppage time. Sermon, of course, played in the Premier League with Wolves and with Norwich, so he's a man of experience for the start of next season. It'd just be interesting for me to see if he still plays 4-4-2 in the Premier League. That's the most interesting thing of the summer for me. Whether he decides you have to go 3 like almost every team does and match bodies. As Charlton give it away, Bulow again, not had a great half. He's not had a bad season. The second half, the Gabon international, but this time a lovely ball from Daniels forward to the feet of Wilson, middle of the park, support behind him from Pugh, who now sweeps it out to Kermorgant on the right. Ritchie coming up on that right wing, across goes Fox to tackle him. Ritchie plays it back for Kermorgant. Francis makes a run, that drags a defender, gives Ritchie some space. Ritchie finds Francis in turn, lovely move again, and this time it ricochets back off Francis from his cross and out for a goal kick. And another move that just needed the final ball and the finish. Yes, again, fine play. Matt Ritchie and Francis combining, but just couldn't get the ball across goal, and unlucky. I don't know what that is, mate. Unlucky. Is that when you run out of lecky on the meter? That's when it runs out. That's the half-time whistle from Neil Swarbrick. Climax of the first 45 minutes to savour more than we've already had in this game, because the 45 minutes we've had would be enough for most fans, I think, in a whole game, as Wilson tries to latch on to Kermorgant's forward ball. Right-hand edge of the box, support from Ritchie, decides to crack it early, straight into Roger Johnson.
and he's appealing for a handball. He's not getting that from that range because he drilled it at the player. And now Stephen Henderson has a bit of ribbon caught up in his boots from the Cherries fans. They're loving it. It's like one of those like rhythmic gymnastic ribbon things, isn't it, Willow?
Yeah. Oh, and another ball.
Yeah, and a little red and black ball. And Callum Wilson has managed to miss with that ball. Put it out for a throw. Brentford on course for putting right pressure on Derby and Ipswich. 2-0 up now. Here at the Valley, the Cherries are 2-0 up. We're in the first minute of the second half, and Bulow finds Watt towards the Cherries penalty area, but Arter just steals it away from him, and Sermon at the edge of his own D squares it to Daniels. They're trying to get a way out. Charlton certainly are pushing more pressure on Bournemouth at the start of this second half. Willow, what are you looking at? Who's down? Bulow's down injured, but Charlton will play on, trying to come out with a bit of a pressing game. Charlton, they spent the first half watching Bournemouth play, but Diarra's given it away. He's been poor, and then the referee says we're going to stop play. There is a player down injured.
That sniper again, Adam. Nobody round him. I was just watching the ball, and he was nowhere near it, nowhere near anybody tackling him. All of a sudden, down he goes.
It's not the best start to the second half, is it? Given that we might have another annoying stoppage. 2-0 up then, Brentford against Wigan. So that puts them on 78 points. Level with Ipswich, who are losing 2-1 at Blackburn. Norwich, of course, and Middlesbrough, they're going to be in the playoffs. Norwich are winning 2-0, Middlesbrough Brighton 0-0. Wolves will move up to 78 points, level with Ipswich and level with Brentford as things stand.
Goal difference?
Yeah, it's going to come into it. Wolves, Brentford, Norwich and Derby are on 77 points. Derby are going to be not in the playoffs as things stand, which is... And that 2-2 draw at Dean Court earlier in the season, Willow, I thought they looked like a team with Darren Bent they'd added to their numbers, and they looked like they were going to cruise the league. Well, certainly haven't.
Hasn't been the case, as you say, and you do need a little bit of luck along the way. A couple of their strikers went missing, if I remember.
Guy Luzon isn't having much luck because he's got another player off the pitch, and Simon Church might have another Charlton change here. I think Church may be okay to go back on. Fourth official just deciding, and the ball has ended up all the way back with Stephen Henderson, who is away to our right. Bournemouth playing from left to right in this second half towards the majority of the 4,000 fans in that Jimmy Seed stand who've travelled from Dorset and from all over the country, I suspect. And the rest of them are just to our right, Willow, in the top of this stand with us. 3 minutes into the second half.
It's magnificent sport.
A fair play to Charlton for giving them extra tickets as well, Willow.
Yes, fantastic job to do that.
Nice touch. Charlton keep the ball in on the right. They're certainly trying to add a bit of tempo to their own game, and Boyens has it, 30 yards out, slides it through, looking for the run that was made by Church, but having just recovered from an injury, he wasn't up to it. Clearance from Boruts was a little bit sloppy, I have to say.
I tried to put Callum in quickly, but never caught it.
No. And Goodmanson's come off that right wing, middle of the park, turned a good ball out to Bulow below us. Bulow looks up, Richie tracks him, he goes across the pitch to the top of the centre circle to Alou Diarra. Right-footed, little flick from Goodmanson. He was trying to play, to be fair to him, he was trying to play Solly in, the right back, but it was low percentage and it failed, and Arter took over. Francis just inside his own half, hoists one down this right wing. Richie's on the side. Morgan Fox almost got the wrong side of him, but then makes a good challenge, says the linesman. Richie's berating the linesman for that decision, and Morgan Fox will get on with it. Into the feet of Simon Church, cooking his back, lays it short to Watt, who's playing a bit deeper where Kermagant is. And now to Bulow. The Gabon international plays it short to Fox. The Welshman drills it across the pitch, 60 yards. Lovely ball as well to Goodmanson. And he's got Solly on the overlap. Solly approaching the Cherries penalty area. Crosses early. Heads go up. Elphick wins the head up. And it comes out towards Charlie Daniels, who doesn't win his header cleanly. Still play on, says the referee. Back to Goodmanson. Dinks it into the penalty area. Boruts stays on his line. It's chipped across the 6-yard box. And then the subsequent shot from Bulow hits Francis. And still the African has it. On this left wing, it's a different Charlton now. Fox. Back to Bulow. Looks up. Right-footed header from Church goes up and out of the Cherries penalty area, and Francis and Richie combine, and this time there's another player down, landed badly on his knee. I don't like the look of that. Knee or ankle is clasping. Bullot And Bulo, I think, his ankle, I think he's claiming he was studded.
No, I don't. Adam, again, that was another one. They just both jumped for the ball. I think he's just landed awkwardly.
Yeah, I think he has as well.
Quite incredible that can happen 3 times in, well, 10 minutes if you didn't have the half time.
But there is no doubt Guy Luzon has got into his players at half time and they've come out pressing and playing with a bit more tempo.
Yes, they have, but surely to goodness you would have expected them to have 1 or 2 attacks this half.
Yeah, Kermagant and Wilson just chatting beneath us, coming over for some water, while another break for treatment happens. Eddie Howe chatting to Jason Tindall on the sidelines. Neither interested in talking to Kermagant or Wilson. It's a bit crowded there, the assistant referees between them. And I think Bulo is going to be okay. Simon Francis checks on him. Frederick Bulo, another Standard Liège link, of course, started his career at Monaco.
Well, they do like to go down and...
Well, in the first half, he played like he was from Monaco.
I'm just wondering. I mean, I can't believe anybody goes down like that. It doesn't come off the pitch and stays off. I don't know how they get better.
Yeah, magic sponge, Willow, you should know that.
Well,
clearance from Henderson is long. Volleyed back into the Charlton half by a big volley from Charlie Daniels. Headed up in the air by Roger Johnson towards halfway. And then Steve Cook is too quick for Tony Watt. Volleys it back into the Charlton half. Ball hasn't hardly touched the ground for 30 seconds. Now Alou Diarra gets hold of it. Goes back to Chris Solly. And Solly, who's a one-club man, a 24-year-old. Product of the Charlton youth. There's a good number of them in the squad. Bournemouth get it back, but they're not getting the time on the ball, and Arter is hassled off it by Boyens, and then it comes off Tommy Elphick. Challenge with Simon Church, and it's going to be a throw into Charlton, midway inside the Cherries half. On the far touchline, that's the Charlton right. And another challenge comes in, this time from Mark Pugh. I think the referee's going to give a free kick for a handball, but having not given the Cherries a couple, I'm not sure how Mark Pugh was supposed to get out of the way of that from half a yard. Still, free kick out on the right. Eddie Howe's Barm the Army is the cry from the crowd, but it's the defending the Cherries having to do at the moment. Goodmanson, left-footed, drills it into the heart of the penalty area. Free header at the back post, back to Diarra, who heads it high and wide. It's a goal kick. To be fair to young Morgan Fox, he got it for a free header.
Well, he did, and there's questions going on amongst the back four. Who's marking who? Always nice to see that after there's been a half chance. I'd like to see the players discussing who's picking who up and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Goal kick for Artur Boruc. Joined in September, of course, 36 league starts. What a big signing he has proved to be, Willow. Yes, Boruc changed the complexion of the defence, didn't it, when he joined?
Most definitely. I had one game, I think, where perhaps things didn't go entirely his way, but apart from that, I can't remember many errors at all, really.
Yeah, other players who aren't involved today, who've had moments. Tequila Ranti scored a couple of league goals. Junior Stanislas isn't in the squad today either. He's got a goal in the league campaign. Ewan O'Kane's played his matches, of course. More than one sub at Derby from Darrell Flahaven this season, as Simon Francis comes trotting down the right wing. Infield to Mark Pugh, midway inside the Charlton half, looks towards the penalty area, and Wilson goes short to Arter. Bang in the middle of the pitch at Harry Arter. Chips it back out to Simon Francis. Bullo's a bit slow to go with him, and then he steps past Boyan's clumsy challenge. Short to Arter again, still it's central. Arter then pings it out to Daniels. Daniels has Pugh ahead of him, edge of the penalty area. Cherry's taking their time and working something. Pugh being held up, twisting and turning away from Solly. Goes back inside to Arter again, 30 yards from goal. Square to Ritchie, who's come in field. Only Francis next to him. He's got the ribbon caught round his boots. Simon Francis looks like he's running with a flaming trail. Wolves are 2-0 up against Millwall, and the tackle from Watt, deep inside his own half, eventually wins a throw off Francis. Throw into Charlton, 2-0 to Bournemouth, and Wolves are 2-0 up now as well.
Well, a nice little passing sequence there, just to get us on our way. Didn't quite come off, and
still remember Watford only one goal up, so an equaliser from Sheffield Wednesday changes the top of the table. And Blackburn are 3-1 up against Ipswich. That's a dangerous fixture always for Ipswich, wasn't it? But 3-1 up. Gested's got one. Ipswich now under pressure, massive pressure. Watford still only 1 up against Sheffield Wednesday. Here it is 2-0 to Bournemouth, but Charlton making a game of it in the opening 10 minutes of this second half, even if about 3 of those have been injury breaks. Charlton have it again. Long ball early, looking for Church's run down that right-hand channel, intercepted by Cook. Pugh helps him out. Daniels to his left, wide on that far touchline. Spins away from Solly. And I think this has certainly been a rocket with the Charlton players as Kermorgan gets a flick on and a little trip from Wilson. Caught Roger Johnson's heels. He wasn't trying to, but he's tackled him. And Johnson's gone down. And it's a free kick to Charlton as Millwall pull one back at Wolves. 2-1 there. Some more nerves at Molineux. They'd just been celebrating going 2-0 up and hearing Ipswich go 3-1 down, and then 1 goal. And now there'll be nerves at Molineux. No nerves here for Bournemouth, Willow.
No, I was just thinking he wouldn't mind tripping Roger Johnson off there, and quite right it was. As the ball goes out of play again, just got a little bit scrappy the last 5 minutes or so. Yeah.
Throw into Charlton, into the thigh of Boyens, gives it back to Fox. Morgan Fox looks for a 1-2. Francis intercepts it. Bournemouth have done well. The Cherries pick possession at Pugh, then forward to the halfway line, but Kermorgan miscontrols it for once.
Well, of all people.
Yeah, it comes back to Solly. He gives it away. Arter, base of the centre circle, drives forward over halfway, looks for an early ball to try and get Wilson in behind Tal Ben Haim. Doesn't do so, but Tal Ben Haim's header only went as far as Pugh, and then Arter's getting in there. Johnson with a big sliding tackle. Referee said he got the ball and he needed to, otherwise he was off the pitch. Roger Johnson booked in the first half, and then Church does well, working back inside his own half to win the ball back for Charlton. He's tackled by Cook, and Cook with a beautiful back heel completely changes the direction of the game and gets Cherries on the attack.
Oh, I've seen 3 fellas go out the turnstile there as well, just as he done that. Great, good a skill.
Ritchie on the right, tracked by Fox, has to come back towards halfway. Again, trying to make some time for himself, not given any by the young Welshman. And Elphick gets it back off Arter. Cherries just trying to get a bit more control on the game, Willow, after the first 10 minutes, which they haven't done a lot. Cook then with one of his big diagonal balls. It's a beauty to Ritchie. Ritchie's done Fox in the box, left-footed, deflects off the post, and it'll be cleared away by Solly as it's spun off the post and bounced back down into play. Nobody in a blue and black shirt just to tap it home. Lovely play. What a first touch from Ritchie.
What a first touch.
That was dreamboat stuff. That was straight out of FIFA. As this time a tackle looked like a foul on Goodmanson. He chips it back into the penalty area. Church hits it on the turn. Good volley. Blocked by Arter. Balloons away for a corner to Charlton. The game has suddenly turned up.
Well, right to the other end, it was Matt Ritchie who had the first chance. What a touch it was out the sky. But now Charlton have a corner. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger. 2 underneath the keeper. 4 big lads flying in from the edge of the box.
Dream touch from Matt Ritchie. Corner taken short. Now it's going to be put in by Goodmanson. The second time of asking, flicked across the penalty area again. This time by Solly, who's got his hands on his head, and Bournemouth eventually get clear, but only as far as Boyens. And then Buller is fouled, but Boyens is going to play on, and Elphick stretching can't stop them. Francis down the right, big challenge by Francis on Fox. Keeps the ball in, and then he gets a sliding challenge off Fox. Francis still going. Fox comes back to have another nibble at him. Referee says play on. Ritchie's caught as he plays it. Advantage from Neil Swarbrick. It is 3-on-3. Arter driving over the centre circle. Pugh to his left. Arter will shoot, and what a waste. Wilson's furious. Pugh's furious, and Arter apologises. Goal kick Charlton.
Well, we're going to have a change, Adam. Gosling is going to make an appearance here. Anybody else down there? No, it's just going to be the one substitution.
Yep.
I'm wondering if somebody's got a knock or...
Yeah, we will find out. Dan Gosling, he's coming on.
Harry's coming on.
It is Harry Arter.
I know, that's what he shot there, that's for sure. He knew he was coming off.
Yes.
He had a player to his left who had a run in on a goal in Mark Pugh, but he elected to shoot.
Well, he walks past his manager. There's not a handshake. There's a little pat from Eddie Howe. Can't believe for a minute he would be happy about coming off against his old club when he's playing like he is, Willow, having scored.
Well, don't know really. Maybe they just got a little knock or something.
He looked fine rushing forward and shooting. As Cook clears, right-footed. Might just be Eddie Howe wants Gosling to have the match time. Amazing, really. When Dan Gosling arrived back in the summer, Willow, we thought, oh, Premier League player, he's going to be the man in the middle of the park to change things for the Cherries. He's had one league start.
Yes, it is quite a strange one, as you say.
What it's done is it's up to the levels of the others as Wilson gets down the right, checks, twists past the defender twice, twisted blood he had, Pugh at the back post, heads it down. Tal Ben Haim volleys away, and Charlton trying to get out their own half with Goodmanson, and he's done well. Shrugs off 2 tackles. Second one from Gosling. Fox into the feet of Watt on halfway. Sermon slips as he tries to tackle him, tries to stay with him. Watt's turned and he's running directly. He's gone past 3. Watt's still going. Good ball towards Church, and well read by Charlie Daniels. Tucked in from left back, saw what was happening and slid to intercept the ball.
Yes, great bit of work there, and Gosling just finishes it off, puts the ball into Simon Francis, and now we try to start a move going forward again. But Charlton coming into the game a wee bit.
Should open up for Bournemouth though, the more Charlton push to get back into it. 62 minutes approaching on the clock. 2-0 to the Cherries on BBC Radio Solent Sport. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Ritchie and Arter setting up what was frankly a procession in the first half. Second half's been a bit more of a contest.
Great run there by Kerrigan.
Diagonal run, he's found by Francis, approaching the box on the right. Early ball volleyed into the penalty area, away by Tal Ben Haim. Oh, Ritchie tempted the shot. In the end, he dinks it to the back post, and Pugh can't get there. Solly did well to stay in front of him and just usher it back to his goalkeeper.
Well, it's almost as if they're trying to invent ways to get themselves in. Just a straight clip and shot isn't enough at the moment. Little chips and drag backs to the order of the day.
After the game here, the Bournemouth players will go off the pitch. Charlton's players and their fans will share some love for a few minutes, and then when Charlton are gone, Bournemouth will come back out to celebrate with their fans, which is good. And the ball played forward early for Simon Church, and Church has run the channels quite well. He's not going to get that one. Borrocks is off his line quickly, but certainly Church has offered a threat in the second half.
Yes, he has, but not a very big one, I have to say.
Here, Bournemouth attacking again. Wilson can put pressure on Tal Ben Haim, who hooks it away for a throw to the Cherries. Lots of fans banked up behind that goal. Lots to our right. Terrific atmosphere. The game's been done, really, ever since the 2 quick goals, but Cherries need to put this to bed. Sermon, edge of the box, tangles with the leggy Diarra, who wins out, and Watts tries to spin away from Cook. They then race together back into the Cherries' half as Goodmanson tries to play Watt back in over the top, and the ball just stopped in the grass, but Elphick got a touch and puts it out for a throw to Charlton, who certainly, with the direct running of Watt and Church, have offered Elphick and Cook a little bit of a challenge in the second period.
Yeah, a little bit. They've got a bit through a bit more work and made things a little bit more precarious, but not a great deal.
Ball infield, midway inside the Cherries' half, but given away by Goodmanson. Now Gosling gets a decent touch on it, just short of halfway. And Simon Francis, full of energy and running, comes driving in towards the penalty area, chips it to the back post. Kermigan's edge just gone too far, back in towards Wilson, and Ben Haim hacks it away with Henderson diving and panicking close by, thinking he had to smother it. The Israeli international took no chances, and Boyens sends it long, looking for Church, and a lovely cushioned header by Elphick.
Yes,
awkwardly running back towards his own goal.
Just to help his mates out there, excellent stuff. Stuff you like to see between the 2 centre-halves. Again, though, we're just having a spell, Adam, where it seems a matter of time before we score again.
Let's hope so. 20th minute of the second half, 2-0. Ritchie waits just over halfway, and Francis takes over. Watt, showing some energy, closes him down.
And the match of the day theme is getting sung again, which is quite nice.
Yeah, enjoy this at home. The ball being played around the back four.
I've got just want to mention as well, Stefan in Hong Kong, another massive Bournemouth player.
You can mention that in a minute, because Sermon's taken advantage of Ritchie's great pass in the box. Back to Ritchie, 25 yards out, into the feet of Wilson. Holds off Johnson. Lovely ball to Sermon. Sermon short to Ritchie. They're trying to walk it into the net. Ritchie now with his back to goal, 20 yards out. Has to wait for support from Francis. Into the feet of Wilson again. Wilson spins apart away from Johnson. Into Sermon, 12 yards out. Shot deflects to Pugh. Pugh dummies the shot, tries to thread it through for Daniels on the overlap. It was all very intricate, and in the end they didn't test the keeper. 2-0.
Very, very intricate. Trying to get passes, 1-2s inside the box there. Just needed somebody to put their foot through it.
2-0, 66 minutes gone. The Cherries lead. Kermigan from deep again, has Pugh to his left, approaching the Charlton box. Once more into Wilson's feet with his back to goal. Got a 1-2 with Bullo, luckily, because back to Ritchie. His first touch is clever, then Gosling gets a touch. Wilson back to Kermigan to drill it, and Diarra blocks it well. Jumped in front of it, Alou Diarra, and Charlton will try and bring it away.
I think Kermigan said something to him after he hit him with it, you know, there, just followed it up.
Yeah, maybe no love lost between the two Frenchmen, who knows? They might have clashed before. Not that Diarra's played that much football, like I said. And then Boric's clearance just goes straight to Watt, 40 yards out. Tony Watt looks up, midway inside the Cherries half. Sermon just shadowing him. He swings it out to the right wing to Solly. He's gone on his bike as he's passed it back in field to Goodmanson. Exchange passes again. Now Boyens comes close. Wolves have settled the nerves there. 3-1 they lead now. And Eubanks Landau's got the goal there. Here, Charlton trying to get some sort of foothold in the game, have possession just short of halfway on this near left wing for them, but the ball to Fox from Bullock was poor, and Francis took it away. Pugh now in the centre circle. Again, Daniels gets up on his left and he finds Charlie Daniels. Pugh then goes ahead of him. Daniels has the defender in front of him, plays it into the feet of Wilson in the box, but Johnson just about used enough strength to get the ball off him. And Charlton trying to clear, do well through Church. Across goes Cook. He has to get there first. He does, and he runs it out of play for a Charlton throw. 2-0 still.
Well, good covering by Cookie. It's important that he helped his mate out. All right, nothing was much ahead of them, but just knocking out for the throw-in was a big help.
Going to see some changes. Mark Pugh,
Adam Smith
is coming off for Adam Smith, who's going to get a run out. Well, so Mark Pugh's season ends. Harry Arter's season has ended.
What normally
both being magnificent.
Is Mark Mitchell goes to the left-hand side.
Yep.
Smithy will play just in front of Francis.
Mark Pugh takes the applause of the fans, and the cries of Pugh go out. 9 goals this season. Well, 299th league start of his career, and he's had a great 5 years at Bournemouth, Mark Pugh.
Well, I think that could be the best season of his career so far.
So, second sub, Smith for Pugh. We're going to see Gomez, young defender, on for Charlton, as again the game comes to a big stop. Charlton making a double sub here, because Chris Eagles is going to come on as well. You'd think you'd give him a bit more than Bullow's given him, wouldn't you?
Chris Eagles.
Well, so, former player of Eddie's at Burnley.
Burnley, yeah. Gomez is on. And he will take a position up on the right-hand side. Now, I didn't see if Gomez has come on for Goodmanson or for Solly. I'm pretty sure he's come on for Solly. He has. Charlton have possession on halfway. Arter finishes the campaign with 9 goals after his goal in the first half. Fans Player of the Year. It's his 43rd start of the season. Remember that spell in December, Willow, when he couldn't stop scoring? 5 in 6 games, that massive goal at Wolves, as the substitute makes a name for himself, or tries to, by having a whack at goal from the edge of the Cherries penalty area. It's gone into the fans behind the goal. It's a goal kick to the Cherries.
Take it quickly, and yes, I do remember them goals, Adam, and it's nice to see him get another one to finish the season off today, and again for him, probably the best season in his Bournemouth shirt.
So Pugh and Arter resting up can reflect on the sidelines. Smith, who's just come on the pitch, gets his first decent touch into Sermon. Cherries have possession at the base of the centre circle inside their own half. Now taken over halfway by Daniels. Ritchie is over on the left. Early ball in towards Wilson, scuffed it, and it's cleared by Tal Ben Haim, but another aimless clearance by the Israeli international, who had time just to step in front of Wilson and play it out. Didn't. Cherries take possession up. Dan Gosling. It just seems odd, doesn't it? 5 goals in the League Cup, but only 1 league start. He didn't expect that when he came here. And it's cleared by Charlton again.
Yeah, sorry, it does, you know. I mean, he started his career at Plymouth, I think, and then went to Everton.
Yeah, and Newcastle. And Bournemouth, he probably thought he'd be coming to Bournemouth for regular football, Willow.
Well, it's hard to get in the first team here. We can see
it is now. Francis, just inside the Charlton half. Forward to Dan Gosling. Gosling pushes it wide to Adam Smith. Support from Francis inside him. Midway inside the Charlton half. Curl towards the back post. Ritchie's the man over. Ritchie has Gomez coming to him eventually, but he flicks it into Daniels, who shoots left-footed and just past the post. The goalkeeper couldn't touch it, and Daniels almost got 2 in a few weeks.
Well, again, it was a lovely little clip by Matt. Flicked it into Charlie's path, but couldn't keep it on target.
Who'd have thought this? Derby 0, Reading 2. Hector has scored for Reading. More famous Hector, Kevin Hector, used to play for Derby in their great teams.
Well, he did, of course, that's right.
So Derby are trailing. They're out the playoffs as things stand, Willow.
Unbelievable.
Derby 2-0 down at home to Reading. Here, Bournemouth cruising 2-0 up at Charlton. We're into the final 20 minutes of the season, as Henderson has to clear for Charlton left-footed. It's a left boot through it. Sermon brings it down on the volley, but can't cushion it enough to stop it going out ahead of Adam Smith. Thrown early by Fox. Good nudge in field from Church, but no one can get on the end of it, and Bournemouth will have it again. Matt Ritchie. Gomez facing in the young product, Charlton Academy product, and this time Gosling looks up and he sprays a ball over. I thought it was going to be perfect, but over Adam Smith and out for a throw.
Yep, just a wee bit too much height on that one. Plenty of pace and accuracy apart from the height one.
Do you know what? Brett Pittman will be itching to get on, won't he? 13 league goals this season. 6 goals in March he got. Massive month March was, and Pittman played a huge part in that, including that hat-trick, of course, against Blackpool. Just chipped forward by Charlton and dealt with by Steve Cook at the back with no fuss, and Elphick and Sermon. There's that little defensive triangle in the middle of the park, combining again for the umpteenth time as Boruc clears, twists it back out to the left wing. Gomez is a lot taller than Ritchie. He wins the header, and it's out for a Bournemouth throw inside their own half. Perhaps Bournemouth now, perhaps given up any designs on the 100 goals, Willow. That would have been the motivation, I think, at half-time. 3 more, but Charlton started well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you try to score as often as you can, but I don't know. He's getting the boy's getting cramped.
Another one. What? I know it's May. Is that 9 months?
Well, is it testimony to the way they've
had to work
and been given a run round by us?
And he's run out of substitutions, by the way. He's used all 3 of them, Guy Luzon. So what? He's going to have to hobble and struggle and get on with it and man up. Cardiff are leading at Nottingham Forest comfortably, we know that, but they're down to 10 men because Marshall, the goalkeeper, is off. So chance for Forest to get back into that game possibly. Applause around the ground. I'm just looking at what for. Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall still discussing and chatting. Have they got much to say at this stage of the season, Willow? They're promoted, they're winning 2-0. Are they genuinely talking tactics, or they're just deciding what they're having for supper?
I can assure you there's always something to talk about football-wise. And while there's what's on that clock card, I can't quite do it.
Well, I reckon we've got, of normal 16. Time, we are now entering the last 15 minutes of the season.
15 minutes of the season. What a season it's been. Absolutely incredible. He's coming off this point.
I think Charlton could be down to 10 men through cramp. Tony Watt is coming off. He's struggling. I think the pace of the first half is finishing Charlton.
We absolutely tortured them. I mean, I was joking when I said Charlton could have done with another ball so they could have a kick, but it was like that at times. We moved them round in in such a fashion that they didn't know they were coming and going.
And he's actually saying to the manager, no, I'm off, I can't come back on. He's actually giving him the old no, I'm gone.
He's giving no way.
He's not saying it's cramp, he's saying I'm gone. He's now got an injury, not just cramp. So Tony Watt gets a pat off his manager, and he limps off, and Charlton will play the last 15 minutes here at the Valley with 10 men. But I think if I had to put that in written form with a brackets injury next to his name, it would be Tony Watt substituted, brackets knackered. Leicester are 3-0 up against Newcastle. I think we can safely say Newcastle are in danger of heading towards the relegation trapdoor. Their season is collapsing. Leicester fighting brilliantly for their lives.
Me and Mr. Jones having a bit of a warm-up down there.
Yeah, I think Brett Pitman thinks he's more worthy of it, wouldn't he? Church on the left wing for Charlton manages somehow to go through two defenders, gets some support, he's held up. Substitute Chris Eagles gets his first decent touch on the ball, shows his skill, which we know he has. Seems to have been around for so long. He's still only 29, Chris Eagles. Signed from Blackpool, of course, the Exodus, as they saved costs at the end of the January window. Sermon has it, the Cherries have it back. Daniels bombing down the left wing, Goodmanson struggling to stay with him. Got Ritchie outside him, across goes Gomez. Ritchie crosses early to the back stick, it goes over Kermagant. It'll come out for Adam Smith on this right hand side. Smith at walking pace, looks for options, takes Fox on down the byline, checks back onto his left foot, has to use Francis's support. He chips it up to the chest of Wilson in the box and then runs on. Francis pulls it to the back post. Oh, what a shame. He's got too much on it, he's taken the wrong club, and it went over Ritchie's head. And Charlton will clear their lines, and it just needed somebody to walk onto Ritchie's cross and tap it in.
It did, it was just a wee bit too high, but here come Charlton down the right hand side now, trying to break on us.
I just had an image of Simon Francis hitting that home from a narrow angle. Now attacking down the far side of Charlton, and Church can't get across Elphick, who stays strong, and the ball through to Boruts. And they roll it out, Bournemouth. But the home fans at least being generous to their team, applauding their efforts in this second half.
Yeah, they are. I think they acknowledged a lot of our play in the first half as well.
Yeah, Smith looking for Wilson down the right, trying to get the return ball. Wilson can't just get the ball out from under his feet. And it's dealt with by a combination of Boyens and Johnson. And now Chris Eagles coming in field. Leaves it in the end for Solly. Norwich 3, Fulham 0. So Norwich look like finishing in third. Middlesbrough still goalless as far as we know. Ipswich have pulled one back at Blackburn. It's 3-2. Murphy from the penalty spot. So possible late drama there with about 12 minutes to go. That's what there is left here. No drama, we don't think, here. 2-0 to the Cherries. Cruising into the Premier League.
We are cruising at this moment in time. I almost don't want the season to end. What we've seen in the first half has been such a good performance, but I think the season's taken its toll on Charlton. They're down to 10 men. 3 of their lads have walked off with cramp or hamstring injuries. Difficult to see.
Yes, it's not been the most impressive show of fitness. Brentford 3-0 up against Wigan now, so they've got the 3 points. I'm going to let Rose have a check of the live table and tells me who's making the playoffs at the moment. A Sermon bursts down the right wing. We don't say that very often. Andrew Sermon back to Francis. Smith's there as well. Adam Smith goes past Chris Eagles, showing good strength, stays on his feet, into Francis in the box, back heel, back towards Smith. Too many red shirts in the way. Roger Johnson will clear it and gets it up towards Simon Church. Strong tackle from Tommy Elphick, but Church ends up with the ball until Simon Francis comes back 40 yards and takes it away from him when he didn't see him coming.
Well, it was almost as if that was timed to happen. Perfect timing by Francis to get this tackle in.
Another score I've got to give you, I think. Wolves 3-2 against Millwall now. Philpott for Millwall. And Norwich 3, Fulham 1. Matt Smith has scored for Fulham. Still Wolves advantage. I'll get Rose to tell me who's in the playoffs and who's missing out, because I know Derby are missing out. I haven't quite worked out in my head the Brentford, Ipswich, Wolves triangle yet, as Kermagant does well to win the ball back for the Cherries in the Charlton half. Out on the wide right is Smith. Smith approaching the box, 2 defenders in front of him. Wilson's come deep and outside the penalty area, turns away from Boyens. Wilson might have a shot in here. In the end, he plays it out to Ritchie on the left. Ritchie support from Sermons. Now Smith has come infield. Francis trying to stretch the play. Eagles in front of him. Francis looks up. Clever ball round the corners for Gosling, who's taken up an advanced position. Back to Smith. Ritchie's now come off the left wing. Francis again tried to turn it past Fox, but couldn't. Throw into the Cherries. So it's Norwich third, Middlesbrough fourth at the moment, Brentford fifth and Ipswich sixth. So Derby missing out, of course, as Cherries play a nice 1-2, and then Gosling can't get the shot away from just inside the penalty area. I thought that was going to be number 3.
Yeah, me too. It was a great bit of passing all the way through the middle of the defence. Might have been a foul there by Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy did well. He went strong into the back of Church, who lost the ball, and then Ritchie tries one of his long-distance fizzers, and it rather fizzles out and goes behind for a goal kick. Into his own fans, though. They're celebrating. 81 minutes gone. You can have your thoughts, of course, get your final thoughts for the season in, Cherries fans. Get them into Willow for the end of the show. 81333 on the text, putting Solent as the first word, please. Or tweet us at Solent Sport. And Jan Kermigant gets applause from all round the valley, from the fans who support him now to the fans who used to support him when he was a Charlton player. He taps his heart with his hand to the Charlton fans to show his love for them. His season finishes, Jan Kermigant. 15 league goals for the Frenchman this season. And he has had a mighty campaign, the 33-year-old.
Yeah, it's been a fine campaign, as you say. Couldn't have asked for much more than that. The two boys, him and Callum, you know, orchestrated with some crosses from wide positions, have done ever so well.
It's, I have to say, there's no sentiment from Eddie Howe. We know he's a calculating man, as there's a foul, looks like a foul certainly on a Cherries player out on that far side. Dan Gosling, referee says he got the ball, but you would have thought Brett Pittman might have been the one, given that he's played such a bigger role in the season and this sort of celebratory afternoon. But Eddie Howe's gone big man for big man. I'll keep it as it is. On comes Ken Wyn-Jones for his 6th sub-appearance.
Yeah, well, perhaps he just sees it. I'm just going to see if they've gone 3 at the back here, Ad, and we've gone to a wing-back situation. That might have been a reason for it to happen.
Maybe. Ritchie slips, but he manages to get the ball forward to Wilson. Wilson is just fouled by Tal Ben-Haim, who didn't touch the ball. A free kick at the top of the centre circle. 2 Charlton players too close to it. Well done, Neil Swarbrick, for letting the Cherries carry on. Wilson plays it out to Smith now. Plenty of blue and black shirts advancing. Ritchie, clever ball first time for Francis, gets a return ball. Ritchie's back on the right wing. Ritchie crossing from the right wing, but too close to Henderson. And the Irishman grabs it out of the sky. And the danger over for Charlton. Just need another goal in front of their own fans, Willow, to finish it off for Bournemouth.
Yes, that would be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? I think we've deserved it, if not for what we've done the whole season. The first half display was absolutely magnificent. We've had chances to perhaps do it. We just haven't got that final ball in that's been good enough to cause the goal.
And just remember, everybody, it is still, as far as I know, only 1-0 to Watford against Sheffield Wednesday. Henderson right-footed. Could there be a late twist in the Cherries' favour? Long clearance and Cook will deal with it. Goes back to Artur Boruc. Doesn't need to do one of his diddly-dees. And then Francis lets it run across his body and takes Boyens out of the game beautifully. Slightly dangerous in front of your own penalty area, but after the season he's had, you'd back him every time. Smith off the right wing, approaching the Charlton penalty area. Back to Francis on the right. Good rotation and movement from Francis. Here's Gosling, 25 yards out. Can't get the pass through to Wilson. He just fluffed the pass really, but he might get it back, and now Wilson has, and then a lunging challenge from Solly. Only goes as far as Daniels. Doesn't shoot. Clever pass. Ritchie in the box. Gets it out from under his feet. Shoots again! Matt Ritchie started the afternoon. He's finishing the afternoon. He punches the sky and celebrates with the Cherries fans and his players. They've got their goal in front of them, the 4,000 happy fans, and Matt Ritchie has 15 for the season in the Championship. He gets better and better, and now the party can start.
Well, it really can. We just wanted that extra one just to finish things off and confirm. Matt's come and got it. It's not enough for Andrew Seaman. He sprinted towards the goal, picked the ball out the back of the net and put it on the what have they drew, Adam?
I think there must be a goal at Watford. Cherries fans are celebrating. We'll get news. It is 1-1 at Vicarage Road. What a minute in the Championship season. Matt Ritchie scores and Sheffield Wednesday equalise at Vicarage Road within seconds. Bournemouth atop of the Championship table with 5 minutes to go at the Valley.
Quite amazing turnaround. Absolutely fantastic news. Now we just need Sheffield Wednesday to do us a favour while we're on the attack.
Kenwyne Jones is trying to get in on the act. Edge of the box on the right, cuts in towards Wilson. Solly makes a good challenge. Wilson wins it back. Wilson in the box. Has support from Smith. Chips it across. Gosling misses. Shot from Daniels. Great save. Henderson. Corner Bournemouth.
What a save that was from the keeper.
Charlie Daniels thought he got another goal, Willow.
2 on the ball.
He's only got the one, of course, against Birmingham. The volley into the ground that went back in under the crossbar. And the Bournemouth have a chance to be champions of the Championship. They could really go up in style here. They want the ball back. Why Henderson's making them wait, I don't know. It's not like Charlton have got to worry about goal difference. Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. It was Old Nahui with the goal, the Sheffield Wednesday striker. He could be a hero. There's a corner for Bournemouth here. When the ball goes out of play, we'll go for team news at the Stadium of Light. 3-0 to the Cherries. 1-1 at Vicarage Road. Drama and a late twist at the top of the Championship. Plenty of drama in the playoffs as well. As this outswinging corner will come in now from Gosling, left-footed, not cleared a burst from Church. Cherries will keep the pressure on. Good tackle from Sermon. Smith slips but keeps the ball, then he's fouled. It will be a free kick. Let's get the team news in the Stadium of Light. Andy Moon. Thank you, Andy. Free kick taken short. Back heel from Kenwyne Jones. Ball at the edge of the penalty area. Good tackle from Roger Johnson. Chris Eagles needs to bring it away for his side, but the blue and black shirts are swarming all over Charlton. They're playing like it's the first minute again, Willow.
Absolutely fantastic in the way they're closing down, but Charlton have just got us on a bit of a break on this right-hand side of the pitch. 2.5
minutes of normal time to go. Goodmanson comes in field, trapped all the way by Daniels, can't get a shot away from 30 yards, has to go wide. Gomez puts the cross in, over everybody. Francis will volley it clear for the Cherries. It bounces over halfway. Wilson has 3 red shirts with him, but he has the ball. Wilson checks. He's got support to his left now from Kenwyne Jones. Smith ahead of him to his right. Ritchie coming up behind him. Smith looking for a clever ball to Ritchie. Strong challenge from Roger Johnson, gets it away from him. And then Smith grapples with Boyens as Charlton win a free kick, and Bradley Johnson has a second for Norwich. It's 4, and I think Sheffield Wednesday might have scored again, or it's full time at Vicarage Road. We will find out. Ritchie with a big smile. It is full time at Vicarage Road. 1-1 between Watford and Sheffield Wednesday, and Tommy Elphick punches the sky with both hands. The Cherries are going up as champions. 3-0 leaders here. Matt Ritchie screams yes to the sky. Jan Kermingant on the sidelines celebrates, punches as well. Mark Pugh hugs Ryan Fraser. Bournemouth are going to go up as champions and title winners in the Championship as they head to the Premier League. Long clearance here, but it's all about the atmosphere. It's all about the fans celebrating, and now it's about the title.
Well, quite incredible with all the work that's been put into this operation, especially for the supporters, as you can hear them here today.
It's going to be fun after the game down on the pitch. Charlton try and push the ball towards the Cherries penalty area, but the Cherries on course for another clean sheet. Fulham have got a consolation at Norwich. It's 4-2 at Carrow Road. I'll get Rose to recheck the table for me for the playoff positions as well. It is finished 4-2 to Norwich. They'll be third. Middlesbrough will be fourth. Ipswich were trailing 3-2 at Blackburn, of course. Derby being hammered at home to Reading 3-0. Brentford winning. Wolves are winning. What does that mean for the top 6 positions? Norwich, Middlesbrough third and fourth. Watford second. Champions Bournemouth have possession on the right-hand side in front of us. Smith to Francis, to the byline, pulls it back. Wilson's header misses the post by a yard. Blackburn 3, Ipswich 2 is a full-time score. We've got 3 more minutes of on-pitch celebrations, because that's how much stoppage time we've got here, as a high five between Francis and Smith. And now all the Cherries players and staff beneath us, even Jason Tindall looks up and punches. Eddie Howe is happy, you'd expect, but understated as always. The fourth official has come over to talk to the Cherries bench. Elliot Ward celebrates with staff, and Tommy Elphick gets a touch to Andrew Sermon, which gives the ball away. Gudmundsson won it back, and then good work from Dan Gosling, recovered it for Bournemouth. They're still defending, and Sermon's limping as he stands up. He's only got another couple of minutes or so. Brentford have won 3-0. They'll be in the playoffs, they're fifth. Gosling bursting forward for the Cherries. Gosling trying to go past Boyens. Still going, 30-yard run from Dan Gosling. And to be fair to the Belgian, he stuck to his task and won it back. Only as far, though, as Charlie Daniels.
He decided to go the whole way, Gosling. No doubt about it. He wasn't going to stop.
Yeah, good work from Daniels and Ritchie again. Daniels on the edge of the box, Ritchie inside. Ritchie on a hat-trick, dinks a left-footer across the box, and selfishly, Smith plays it back to Wilson, and the ball comes off his shin, and it bounces away, and he looked like he might have had his goal, but he hasn't, and Charlton will try and break. Brentford are fifth. I think at the moment, Ipswich are sixth. 90 seconds left. Back to Church, edge of the box. Church to Gudmundsson, over the bar. Wants a corner, gets a corner. Borrett's got a touch, and the clean sheet is still intact. Cherries winning 3-0 here. It has finished 1-1 between leaders Watford and Sheffield Wednesday, and the Hui late goal has given the Cherries the title, as well as their 3-0 win here. Don't forget their magnificent performance, which thoroughly warrants it. Cross from the right for Charlton after the short corner, headed away by Simon Francis. So Brentford and Ipswich currently joining Middlesbrough and Norwich in the playoffs. Derby missing out, as are Wolves in their first season up, of course. Here it is 3-0, it is comfortable, it is party time, and it is celebration at the Valley, as Chris Eagles attacks down the right, does well, crosses to the near post. Steve Cook in the right place at the right time. Back it comes to Gudmundsson. His shot blocked by Sermon. Offside flag goes up. It'll be a free kick to Bournemouth. And 92 years after joining the Football League, the Cherries will head into the Premier League and become the latest of the 92 clubs to enjoy the elite league in world football and take all the glory and money that goes with it, and complete the turnaround from the dark days that they've had more than once at this club, from the -17, from the bucket collections, from everything else that's gone on. Remember the money even raised to bring Eddie Howe back to the club as a player, Willow. All sorts have gone on.
It's been an absolute amazing challenge for everybody concerned.
That is it. Neil Swarbrick brings the game to an end. Players collapse to their knees as the sun comes out to welcome Bournemouth's title. Jumping in each other's arms. Relief, exhaustion and happiness.